Good morning from Kawanishi City here in Hyogo Prefecture, Japan. Behind me is a station called Kawanishi Noseguchi Station. It's on the Hankyu line. Hankyu is one of the big train companies. It has lines from Osaka to Kobe and Kyoto and up here to Takarazuka. I got off here at the Kawanishi Noseguchi Station because there is a little spur line it's a private railway line called the Nose Railway, and it's sort of run by Hankyu and sort of separate. I don't really know how it works, but anyway, it starts here and it goes north and it links Kawanishi City with the city of Nose, the much smaller mountainous city of Nose. It's not a very long line, but I'm gonna ride the whole line today all the way to the end, Myokenguchi Station, and we're gonna see what the line is like. I might get off a couple times here and there and look at some of the stations and some of the areas and stuff, but let's go inside this station and figure out where the train line is and how it works. Okay, well, it's pretty simple. We're on the platform here. This is a regular Hankyu train. All the Hankyu trains are this maroon color. It's going back to Umeda in Osaka. Mine will be over here on your left. So while we have a few minutes here, the Nose Railway was first opened in 1913. And the whole point of it was to take religious pilgrims a little bit closer to the mountains where a lot of the temples and stuff are. In 1923, the line was extended a little bit to where it is today, the final stop being Myokenguchi. In 1978, they opened a small little branch line from Yamashita Station. It goes to Nisei Chuo. Now, an odd thing happened a couple years ago. The railway decided that from now on, all trains were going to go between here, Kawanishi Noseguchi Station, and Nisei. They're going to break off the Myoken line, which I consider the main line, and all go to Nisei, just back and forth, back and forth. If you want to go to Myokenguchi, which was the whole point to begin with, you have to get off at Yamashita Station and change to a little tiny line that just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm gonna ride the Myoken line up to Yamashita Station. I have to get off to get another train to stay on the Myoken line. Sorry about the noise. Every time I do one of these videos, I'm always standing right below the speaker because there are always speakers over your head. One other cool thing about the Nose Railway is that about 10 years ago, they revamped all of the signs. Every single station has one of these signs with like green writing and a little green picture on it, and they're all different. So each little image chosen for the sign is like about that area or about that station. So the one for here, Kawanishi Noseguchi Station, is just the rail line leading towards a star in the sky. And here we go. Looks like trains leave how often do these trains leave? Okay, looks like trains leave every 10 minutes, so it's an easy line. Whoa, 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 let me on. An easy line to explore. Wind chimes inside the train. Okay, here we are at Takiyama Station. I jumped off the train for really no reason at all. Just got curious about the name. Taki means waterfall. Yama means mountain. So I think the art is very, very nice for the station, the waterfall on the mountain. Unless I see a reason to, I'm not actually going to leave the station, because that would mean I have to pay for this trip and then pay for a new one when I start. So if I were going to leave the station, I would do it here. But rather than having to pay another 200 or 300 yen for every single ride, I'm just going to hang around here on the platform. See what excitement I can find here on the platform. One ride on this train is between $2 and $3, maybe. It's not that much. Go to the other end of the platform here, see if we can see a cool view down the tracks anyway. It rained all night last night, so it's kind of humid today, but much cooler than it has been. So picked a perfect day. Whatever the sky looks like to you on video, it's actually the perfect day if you're going to do a video in August. This is the time to do it. About 2,000 people a day use this station. There are about 7 of us here now. The first station, Kawanishi no Seguchi, is used more by people for this little Nosei line than the actual big Hankyu line. About 44,000 people a day use it for the Hankyu line. 45,000 people a day ride this train line, which I find hard to believe. One thing I forgot to say about this line is that it was originally made to take pilgrims. Now it's been extended and built up and stations added because of all of the suburbs out there. There's lots and lots of just towns that are huge apartment blocks. At this time of day, not much going on, which is exactly how I like it. A train is coming. That was a train ride of about 1 minute. Here's the very next station though. And I had to get off because I just wanted to see this sign. This is Uguisu no Mori Station. And Uguisu is like a type of bird. It's this type of bird. The Japanese bush warbler, something like that. And it makes this distinct sound, and it goes, I looked it up on YouTube before this trip. The bird song goes, something like that, has this little lead in, and then it goes wee dee 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 dee. I have been told that there are none of these birds here now. It's a springtime thing, and this is August. So unfortunately, no Uguisus right now, but someday you could see them here. And again, I'm not going to leave the station right now, but I am going to leave at the next station because something cool is over there. And speaking of that, sort of related is, if you can see down here, there's a tunnel. There are several tunnels on this line, and they will be featured on this trip for various reasons. This train that just pulled up going the opposite direction is decorated with like Osaka Expo 2025 stuff, because that's something that's happening in Osaka next year. Some kind of, I don't know what an expo is, but it's happening. People from different countries come and have little displays or something. Anyway, there is something about a Tom and Jerry collaboration crossover here with the Hankyu line, and I think also the Nosei line these days. So I haven't noticed so far, but when my train comes down here, see if on the front of it there's a little circle that has Tom and or Jerry on it. That'll be sort of a mini goal for today. And by the way, here is one of the big apartment blocks. This station is one of the least used on the whole line. Only about 1,000 people a day use it. And it was actually a new one. This one was built in 1953. Boo, no Tom and Jerry on the front of this train. Okay, so I think what happens here is we go through a tunnel, and then we go across this cool bridge. And the bridge is what I'm interested in. I'm going to get out at the next station and walk back to the bridge. All right, this is Suzumi Gataki Station. My train just came from this tunnel and stopped here. This train is going into the tunnel. If you remember from earlier, if you were paying attention to my Japanese lesson, what does taki mean? Waterfall. And Suzumi Gataki is just the name of some waterfall that I think used to be here but is not here anymore. And it was said that when the waterfall was hitting the stones at the bottom of it, it sounded like drums. Boom, 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 boom. So the art for the sign is a drum, a Suzumi drum in the river, making the sound of the waterfall. But it is time to actually venture outside of the station. I'm gonna walk back to that cool bridge. It's unusual for a couple different reasons. And by the way, while I'm walking around here on the streets, the checklist, the old checklist is in play here, so there's a little tweak to the checklist. I'm removing structure with old faded paint, and I'm taking the suggestion of my viewer, Clark. Clark said, why don't you put graffiti on your list? Because I often see graffiti, but not every time, and I think that's a good idea. I never really saw the faded old paint and can't really explain what I meant by that. So from here on, graffiti is on the list. And if you love lists, the good news is there's more of a chance of finding this stuff because I don't exactly know where to go, so I'm gonna walk around more. I think it's down this road. There's your motor scooter. There's item number one. That's always the easiest. I guess I'm supposed to be walking on the side that has the sidewalk. Well, I gotta say, a bit of a drab park here on a wet, rainy day. Overgrown, rusted iron, all the things I love so much. There's a little stage here if you want to do some performing. This is kind of interesting, actually. In the annals of commerce and capitalism, I would say that the most succinct business name that I really can think of is Toys R Us. Very simple, you know what it is. I think we've got one even better here. We Cars. There's a hair salon Aura, right next to Chicken Paradise. Mark that off the list. I bet the chickens that are served at Chicken Paradise don't think it's such a paradise. Okay, we're coming up on the bridge over here. What's cool about this bridge is that, most of all, it just looks cool. It's a really nice looking bridge, and I want to get video of a train going over it. That's the point of this walk. The other thing about it is, for that little section, just the bridge, like the tunnel to the tunnel, that section is actually in Osaka Prefecture because the border is kind of this weird zigzaggy line. So the train line just goes just for a few meters into Osaka Prefecture, and it just happens to be where this bridge is. So if you've been homesick for Osaka Prefecture this whole time, then here we are. I think we're actually in Osaka right now. And there's the mighty, mighty bridge. It's actually a small bridge, but it just looks really cool. It's a nice river too. Muddy today, but pretty impressive. Okay, there it is. Now we just stay here and wait for a train to come. Either direction. I guess coming towards this direction would be better, wouldn't it? Now, which side of the bridge? Let's scope this out a little better. All right, the lighting is better from here, and the backdrop is fine. It's a bunch of trees. You can see the river. This is good. Go down a little bit more. While we're waiting for a train to come, this whole time since I left Kawanishi no Seguchi to begin this trip, and I've gotten off at a few stations and I've missed one or two stations, the big bridge, I don't know if you can see it back there, but the big bridge that I first saw right when we left the first station, you can still see it. It's like not that far away. These stations are very, very close together. I gotta stop talking to you and pay attention because I might miss the train. Coming out of one of these tunnels. Ooh, this is gonna be awesome. Okay, here it comes. I believe through the right tunnel. Walked right by it earlier and didn't even mention it, but look, cool statue. I think that's a place that maybe sells Buddhist altars for the home. There's definitely a cool statue. Mark that off the list. Abandoned everything else, but I don't see a bicycle. Okay, what do you think? I mean, this whole building is roped off and apparently going to be torn down and condemned and stuff, and there are 4 bicycles here. 3, I don't know. Okay, that counts. It's got to be abandoned. Of course it's abandoned. It's got ivy growing around it. Tell you a little secret, the abandoned bicycles, for some reason, out of all the things on my checklist, those are often the ones that I enjoy the most. Just something about them, something about the character of a bicycle. It still looks like a bicycle, but it's being reclaimed by nature. Something bittersweet about it, I suppose. Where am I? Where is this station? Look at that building. Wow. Talk about being reclaimed by nature. That's unbelievable. Uh-oh, I hear my train. I'm not going to miss this train. I've got to go. I don't want to have to wait around 10 minutes for the train. I'm probably going to miss it. Oh well. More time here in Tsuzumigataki, whatever this place is called. There's my train that I'm going to miss because I don't feel like jogging 50 feet. The fact that these trains come every 10 minutes really changes the approach to this. I don't have to worry about it at all. What's a guy got to do to get a Tom and Jerry emblem on his train? On the train platform, Obachan with a cart. I hope I got that on camera. Okay, now, the next station, before we get to the next station, on this side of the train, I'm not going to get off, but on this side of the train there's going to be a big white building. That's the headquarters for this rail line, the Nosei Railway. See if I can remember where it is and see if I can catch it with the camera. I think that was it, that little white building right next to the tracks. And I gotta respect the company for doing that. They could have had their headquarters in, the bigger city, Kawanishi, which would be obvious. They could even have their headquarters in like Tokyo, which they do sometimes. But no, they are out here on the train line, in the middle of the train line, out here sticking up for their own train line. Good for them. Okay, this is Ichinotori Station, and I'm just getting off here on the platform because this is a very special station. This was, for the first 10 years of this railway, was the end of the line. This was the terminus. You would go here, Ichinotori. As you see, here's one of the religious pilgrims. Tori means this big gate, so Tori is the gate. This is the gate number 1, Ichino. And I guess this is where people would start. They would take the train up here in 1913. They would get off here, and I think there actually was a big torii like this, but it was destroyed and then rebuilt. But anyway, this is where you would start. And then in 1923, the line was extended to where we're going later today. But here we are. We have to get off the train and pay our respects to the former end of the line. And that's true, like that's no BS. And Ichinotori, as you may be able to tell just by me standing here, is one of the least used stations on this whole line. I think it's the second least used. About 805 people a day, on average, use this station. And 3 of us are here now. And there it goes. There goes my train on its way direct to Nisei Chuo on the other little branch line. This is Yamashita Station, and this is where the lines now branch off since 1978. This one that goes off to the left over here, that was just built in 1978, but that's where all the main trains go now. Have I over-explained this enough yet? Let's go look at the sign for Yamashita before we change to the other line. Okay, there you go. Some kind of old-timey building and some kind of smelting factory or something. Something to be proud of, Yamashita. Okay, the announcement said something. Go to track number something, I don't remember. regular drinks, ice cream, no beer. Well, I'm impressed. Here on platform 3, the trains also run every 10 minutes, even though it's this tiny little bit that just goes back and forth right here. So in a few minutes, a train will show up from here. I will get on it and it will reverse and go back. Oh no, wait. No, I planned something here. Wait a minute, I forgot. Here at Yamashita Station, the next station is about 400 or 500 meters or something right up there. If it weren't for this bunch of houses and trees, you could just see it. I'm gonna get out here and walk there. Now, I did scope this out on Google Maps yesterday, but none of this looks familiar. This can't be right. It's cloudy. Can't really tell from the sun which direction I'm pointing. I'm going to have to resort to technology. Wow. Is this a public path? Well, I was going the exact wrong direction. And if this cuts through, well, this is something. If this cuts through, this will be good enough. Can this possibly be a path? Do you want to count that as graffiti? Appears to be a face. And if that's not enough, there's something here that used to be something. And if that's not enough, someone has spray painted some poo. If you can see that, it's hard to see, but I'm gonna have to count it. I'm gonna have to count it because there's not much else going on graffiti-wise. Something else I've noticed about this path and this area, there aren't like hordes and hordes of other tourists here. I don't know why. I don't know why this is not everybody's blog and vlog and Instagram and everything. I mean, what else do you want? A little good-natured sarcasm for you. Well, this is the stage. This is where I came out of the ticket gates. Could have just walked here, but this doesn't make sense. Is this public? Is this employee parking? I think this might be employee parking for the station or something. Wow, could it be? Sasebe Station this way. I don't think many people do this walk, but the ones of us who do, we get our own special sign. Lots of bamboo. I think this fence is made out of old cross ties from the rail line. Ooh, it's got cool snails on it. Look at that. table here where you can buy something on the honor system. What is it? Potatoes, locally grown potatoes. I mean, really locally. Something which cost 150 yen and is sold out. And eggplants and some kind of peppers. 80 yen for eggplants. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't need an eggplant or a green pepper today, but if you do ever need some, swing by Japan. There's some right there that are probably out of this world. Okay, in the interest of finding cool birds doing interesting things for my checkoff list, I wonder if these up here count. They're small, but they're all sitting around in sort of an adorable way. See if I can zoom in. And they did catch my eye. I'm going to count them. Cool birds doing something cool. Just sitting around, but it doesn't take much to please me with birds. Right here at this kind of temple thing, it says Ichijiku, that's figs, but they're sold out. I actually would buy those. That's too bad. I think it's a temple. So they don't have figs for me, but does this count as tree cut into circles? It's not a tree and it's not exactly circles. All right, honorable mention. It doesn't count, but it's very, very cool. Okay, that's it. Across this green field, that long row of cinder blocks, that's the station. But before we cross the bridge, you can argue about whether this is a tree or not, but I don't care. I'm counting it. It's such a circle. There's another sort of roundish one, although I don't think it's cut. It's probably more natural, maybe? What do I know? Anyway, trees cut into circles, yes. Mark that off the list. And on to Sasabe Station. Look at all these dragonflies. Can you see the dragonflies? I don't know if the dragonflies are showing up on the video, but there are hundreds of them. I don't know, I'm missing my train right now. Well, more time for dragonflies. So it may not surprise you to know that Sasabe Station here, this is by far the least used station on the train line. 109 people average a day use the station. And there's not much around here but some field. Let's see if anybody got off this train. I don't see any evidence that anybody got off. Possibly somebody got on, I didn't see, but love this stream though. This station is so seldom used that this sign wasn't even here until 2009. For decades, there was just no sign on the station because nobody needed it. If you knew where it was, then you knew it already, so there's no need to actually put a sign. Finally, a few years ago, they decided to go ahead and put the sign. And here is the sign for Sasabe, which which is pretty appropriate. That same star from the first station is still in the sky. A bunch of other stars and just fields and old-timey houses. I can confirm that's what's here. Show you something that helps a lot with doing this sort of adventure, this sort of wander. Just bought these this morning at a Lawson convenience store. Biore ice cold body sheets. So great. It genuinely cools you off. In full view of the southbound train from Myokenguchi. There's only one platform here, so they're going to be exiting on my side. Anyway, I highly recommend this. Nobody getting on or off this train. 5 people, 5 passengers on that train coming from Myokenguchi. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, something to watch out for when the train comes. The next station is between 2 tunnels. So we're going to enter a tunnel. We come out of the tunnel. We're at the station. I'm not going to get out because there's absolutely nothing there except apartment buildings, Then we leave that station and we immediately go into another tunnel. The track it's a double track at the station. The switch where the tracks come back together into one single line, that's inside the tunnel. It's very unusual. So watch out for that. Oh, and more importantly maybe, this is the final station in Hyogo Prefecture. The whole point of this line is to get people to Nose, the city of Nose in Osaka Prefecture. So after we leave here, the rest of the time is in Osaka. Trains are coming. There it is. No Tom and Jerry. I might have been misled about that. Here we go. I see double tracks entering the tunnel. Space is tight here in the mountains for a train line. And this is it, Myokenguchi Station, the last on the line. 2 people got off the train, me and some guy. So, a great ride here. Now, I'm gonna get out here and explore this area quite a bit. First, let's go look at the sign from Myokenguchi. All right, there you go. An image of Mount Myoken. Myoken is the name of a mountain. This station used to be called just Myoken. And then at some point it was realized that made it sound like the station was right at the mountain, and it isn't. So they had to put Myokenguchi, which means sort of like the gateway to the mountain, but we're not there yet. And the train just pulled out, the same driver just got out, walked to the other end of the train and left, and no passengers. The Noseden Station Gallery. So yeah, the trains used to be white and blue. I think they used to be cream colored and blue too, before they all became the purple Hankyu trains. Well, here's the situation. It's about 12:40 p.m., lunchtime. I had been assuming that I would just come here and eat at one of these places, but I think they are all closed because it's not it's not the weekend, it's not a tourist season or anything. So there is no food. The only food I can see, this vending machine has Kit Kat and little cookies and some potato chips. And I think that might be my lunch today. That is a true wanderer lunch right there. But here's what's happening in the video here. Up this road about 1 mile is a cable car station. And the cable car stopped running after 60 years of service, stopped running in like a few months ago. But I'm gonna go up this path and find the cable car station. I think it still exists. I wanna see how close I can get to it, maybe even get into it, if that's possible. There's no way that's possible, but I'm just gonna hike up this hill, 1 mile uphill to see the station and pay my respects for the end of the cable car, which went up to the top of Mount Myokin. But all of that is gonna, oh, a train just arrived and people actually got off. Grand Central Station over here at Myokin-guchi. So the hike up to the cable car station will be in the extended version of the video. Okay, well that's it for today. That's it for the train ride and the hike up here to a sadly missed opportunity. And as I literally drip with sweat here, I'm going to read the final checklist today. So, abandoned bicycle, yes. Weird, interesting statue or figure, quite a few, yes. Motor scooter, yes. Obachan with cart, yes. Notable birds, yes. Cartoon drawing on sign, yes. Doing good. Graffiti, yes. Hair salon, yes. Tree branches cut into circles, yes. Car elevator, no. Although I bet there were plenty at some of those big apartment complexes, apartment blocks and stuff, but I didn't see any. And a beer vending machine, no. Thought I would see some back there at the Myokin-guchi station. Anyway, thank you for coming along today on this really cool train ride on the Nosei line and this hike up to the cable car, and I will see you next time. This video continues in the extended version. See the whole thing, plus past and future extended videos without ads, and get other special perks via my Patreon page by pledging support for my work exploring unusual and lesser-known destinations. Special thanks this week to Calvin Ferreira, Darcy Otranto, David Richley, Jacob Fatz, Lever Wong, Matt Kane, Michael Fedor, Nathaniel Holland, Omeyer, Ray Nichols, Samantha, and Will Phillips. You can also sign up for my free weekly email newsletter, which features behind-the-scenes info and early links to videos before they're public. Links to both are in the video description. Thanks for wandering around with me. Sorry, P.S. One more thing I just forgot. Myokin-guchi Station, and I hear my train coming, so I gotta hurry. This is the northernmost train station in all of Osaka Prefecture. There you go. One final piece of fascinating information. I think it's cool. See ya.